a commenter on my Hoover Model O video asked for the dimensions of some critical parts of the machine so that he could go about recreating one, which I think is pretty cool. I would like to see that come to fruition if you happen to do it. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to make a little video of just taking some measurements on video. I've deconstructed the machine just a little bit, and we have a fan housing diameter of, I would call that 11. It looks like 10 and a half or 10 on the video, but I would call it 11 and a half. Let's measure it from the underside. Yeah, that's almost 12 inches outside diameter, and these walls being thin sheet metal, that's basically the inside dimension also. And this fan housing on the outside is 5.5 tall. Now the top and bottom plate are going to be 3/4 inch thick wood, giving this an inside height of only about 4 inches. And the fan outlet width inside is 3 3/4. Outside is 5 1/4. The height of this flange is just a hair over 6.5. This piece here is one of the very few cast items on this machine, and it joins the wood top and bottom plates, and it has an inset area for the sheet metal to be bent over of the side casing. The other cast pieces besides the motor enclosure are the handle bale and the mounts. And of course you'll have your fan hub, or the spider that the blades are riveted to, and the pulley, and your casters. You can see inside here the clearance on these sheet metal fan blades. This has got quite a bit of room, probably 3/8 of an inch between the top and bottom of the fan and the side walls. Actually, the bottom looks like it could be 1/2 to 5/8. And these fan blades are cut so that they just barely clear the motor housing and the bolts. Let's see if we can measure these. Whoops. I was not about to try and remove the motor or the fan, so this is as best as we're going to get. There's probably a better way of doing this. So just under 4 inches width from the end of that fan blade, and then I have to hold this at an angle, but it appears that the blade is 3.5 tall. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the opening in the base is about 4.5. And this is quite difficult to see. But it's about 5 inches front to back opening. And looking in there, you can see the groove that's been cut in the wood for clearance for the belt. And your brush roll housing just under 1.5 tall. This has an angle on it about 6 inches wide at the back, and at the front 12 inches. And 11 from here to there. The belt access door was created with just a flat piece of galvanized sheet steel. Wanted to see if the dimension happened to coincide with like this, but this is 4 3/4, and I would imagine they took about a 6.5 to 7 inch long piece, and then they folded it to give it a little bit of a handle. And this is just that's just little channel 3 pieces that they've secured to the sheet metal base pan. And you can see this, they've rolled that to give it a nice rounded edge. And here is the brush roll. As I mentioned, this is an improved Model O, so it has bronze bearings in place of the waxed string that the original Model O's were purported to have. So this is a new Model O. And so we have the brush dowel with pulley. And we have these bronze pieces. This looks like a one-piece casting. So on the inside, this is the bearing for the brush roll, and on the outside it is the bearing for the wheel. And this is 2 3/4, a 1/2 inch, and just a hair under 1/4, 3/16. The brush diameter is 1 inch. The bristles are 3/4. And the belt that's on this machine, which I believe is a sewing machine belt, is just about 6 inches in diameter and a little less than 3/16 cross section. So anyway, Red Stripe Cougar 4186, I hope this answers your question. And I do expect to see a video if you end up recreating a Hoover Model O.